When we think of volcanoes, we usually imagine something that looks like Mount Fuji, an isolated peak with a single vent or opening at its summit through which lava and ash are expelled during an eruption. But while these stratovolcanoes are common, they're far from the only type of volcano out there. In fact, scientists have discovered evidence of ancient megavolcanoes that are so massive and have caused such widespread devastation that if one were to erupt today, it could threaten the very survival of our species. So let's take a journey back in time to explore 4 of the largest volcanic eruptions in history and find out what would happen if they happened again. Number 4. The Yellowstone Supereruption. Today, Yellowstone National Park is best known as a scenic wilderness area famous for its geysers and abundant wildlife. But 640,000 years ago, it was the site of the largest volcanic eruption in the history of North America and possibly the world. Known as the Yellowstone Supereruption, this cataclysmic event unleashed 2,800 cubic miles of ash and pumice onto the landscape, blanketing an area of 17,000 square miles in over 600 feet of material. To put that into perspective, the total volume of the eruption was equivalent to nearly 1 million Empire State Buildings, and the ash cloud rose more than 300 million feet into the atmosphere, leaving a caldera 43 by 28 miles across. And while it may seem hard to believe, scientists estimate that there is a 1 in 700,000 year chance that something similar could happen again. If it did, the nearby states of Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming would be buried under thick layers of ash and pumice, halting all forms of transportation and agriculture in their tracks. The entire U.S. would experience a volcanic winter as ash spread across the country, blocking sunlight and causing temperatures to plummet. And even parts of Canada, Mexico, and the northernmost South American countries would feel the effects. So while we can rest easy for now, it's important to remember that this supervolcano isn't quite finished with us yet. No. 3. The Toba Cataclysm. About 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano in Indonesia erupted with such force that it's been dubbed the Pompeii of the Ice Age. At its widest point, the blast covered an area of 2,900 square miles, almost as large as the entire state of Florida. And the total volume of material ejected during the eruption was about 5 times greater than the entire volume of Mount St. Helens, another famous volcano located in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. While the immediate impact of the eruption was devastating, its long-term effects were even more catastrophic. Scientists believe that the sheer amount of ash and sulfur dioxide released into the atmosphere triggered a volcanic winter, which lowered global temperatures by several degrees for several years. This sudden and dramatic climate shift caused the extinction of many plant and animal species and had a profound impact on the behavior and migration patterns of early humans. In fact, some researchers argue that the Toba eruption was so severe that it acted as a genetic bottleneck for our species, reducing the size of the breeding population to just a few thousand individuals. This near-apocalyptic event has left an indelible mark on human history and serves as a reminder of the incredible power of nature. Number 2. Lagarita Caldera. Located in the San Juan Mountains of southwestern Colorado, the Lagarita Caldera is the largest known volcanic crater in North America and the second largest in the world. It covers an area of approximately 340 square miles, which is larger than both Los Angeles and New York City combined. The sheer scale of the Lagarita Caldera is truly awe-inspiring. The crater is so vast that it can be seen from space, and its depths are so deep that if the Empire State Building were placed inside it, it would still be over 500 feet below the rim. The history of the Lagarita Caldera dates back millions of years. The oldest rocks in the area are over 2.7 billion years old, while the youngest are only 27 million years old. Over the course of its existence, the volcano has experienced multiple periods of intense volcanic activity, including the formation of lava flows, ash deposits, and pyroclastic flows. The most recent eruption occurred about 28 million years ago and was one of the largest volcanic eruptions in the history of the Earth. It released an estimated 5,000 cubic miles of ash and pumice, covering an area of more than 10,000 square miles. If the Lagarita volcano were to erupt again today, the consequences would be catastrophic. The nearby towns of Pagosa Springs and Durango would be buried in ash, and the entire Front Range of Colorado would be affected. The eruption would also have global implications as ash and debris spread across the planet, blocking out the sun and causing temperatures to plummet. However, it's important to note that the likelihood of such an eruption occurring anytime soon is extremely low. Scientists estimate that there is a 1 in 1 million year chance that something similar will happen again. The monster of Lake Kivu. Nestled in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and bordering Rwanda to the east, Lake Kivu is a deep and mysterious body of water that holds a dark secret beneath its tranquil surface. What makes Lake Kivu so unique is the fact that it sits atop a massive and potentially active magma chamber. If the gases within this magma chamber were to escape, it could trigger a volcanic eruption of unprecedented proportions. The resulting explosion would not only obliterate the lake itself, but also send shock waves across the surrounding region, causing widespread devastation and loss of life. It is estimated that the eruption of the Nurugongo Volcano, which is located near Lake Kivu, could release up to 1,000 cubic kilometers of ash and pumice. This would make it one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded human history. But the true horror of the situation lies in the potential for a much more catastrophic event. If the magma chamber beneath Lake Kivu were to erupt, it could unleash up to 500 cubic kilometers of material. This would trigger a devastating tsunami that would race across the surrounding area at speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. Entire villages would be wiped off the map in an instant, and the death toll would reach into the hundreds of thousands. As it stands, scientists are closely monitoring the activity of the Nurugongo volcano as well as the gas levels within Lake Kivu to determine the likelihood of such a disaster occurring anytime soon. However, the unpredictable nature of volcanic activity means that there is always the possibility of a surprise eruption. And when it comes to the monster of Lake Kivu, the stakes couldn't be higher. But what do you think? Were you surprised by the sheer scale and destructive power of these ancient megavolcanoes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating insights into the natural world around us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.